Hi everyone, today's video is about the palettes for oil painting, and this is my regular studio palette, which is a big piece of glass that I converted into an oil painting palette. But let's just start from the most common one that we can find in the market. And also this was my palette when I started off in way back in 1996. So let's begin with wooden palettes. As you can see, this is a regular wooden pallet. This is a kidney shaped pallet as it is known, and this is my first pallet that I bought in 1996. That was a long time ago. So I didn't know much about oil painting, but I knew that a palette was necessary. So this is what I used for that time, and since it is very old now and I have used it for all these years, I converted it into painting. But generally what happens is that when you use a palette for that long, it develops a nice shiny glossy surface, and you tend to keep your paints on top of this palette, and you hold it like this, and you can keep your brushes etc. here. This is how you keep your stuff, or maybe you can, if this thumb hole is bigger, then you can keep it there. But general principle is that you keep it there, and your hand, this should be rested on your hand so that it doesn't wobble while you paint. And there are some bigger ones, but I don't use wooden palettes nowadays. But I have another one which I will just show you. But none of these are big palettes, but there are professionals who prefer big giant wooden palettes, and those are also very nice. And that is the picture of oil painting. I mean, you paints, brushes, and a kidney shaped palette like this wooden palette. And this is my push-out box. Sometime back I did a review of this box, which is for 8x10 panels. I use it mostly for plein air painting, but this also has a palette, and that is a rectangular one. So this is a rectangular palette that I use it for this purpose, but this can also be used for regular painting. I just pick it up from the box, and I just keep it like this in my hand, or maybe on a stool somewhere, so that it's comfortable to use. And this also has, although this wood is not so hard like the previous one that I have, which is like a big thick piece of wood. This is a thin board, but still it does the work, although slightly softer. But you can see that it has developed a sheen over the years, and this is easier to clean off with just tissue paper, and that's it. Again, you can see that the color organization is also there. There are certain colors that are more common in my palette, and I use this palette like that. I keep it on my box, or maybe I pick it up and maybe put it on my easel. I'll just show you one picture of it. Now I can just place it on my stool and work on it. There are some dippers like this, and you can just attach it and start painting. This is called a thumb box, which is made by a carpenter, and this also has a palette, quite obviously, since this is for oil painting as well. And we are talking about oil paintings today. And this is my push-out box that the carpenter made, and it's quite nice. And this has a movable palette. So I also did a review of this thumb box because it has a thumb hole beneath like this. You can hold the box with your hand, just the way a palette, a kidney shaped palette or any other wooden palette can be held like that. But this is just a 2mm plyboard, and it also developed a nice greenish colored sheen on it, and it's very easy to clean up. Again, you can see the color organization. These are the most common colors that are outside. So this is also very handy. When you have a raw wood as a palette, you need to process this with tung oil, or maybe just buy a linseed oil and put it there. It is going to soak that, and gradually you can use tubs or regular linseed oil, and also the oil in the paints that is going to create this particular plane surface, and which is actually very useful. Now this is a plastic palette which is quite similar to the other kidney shaped palette, and the sizes are quite similar, as you can see. But I bought it in maybe early parts of 2000 as a replacement palette for that one. But you can see it's abnormally dirty because I didn't clean up, and the paint that is stuck on top of plastic palette is very difficult to use. But this palette has served me very effectively for one purpose, that was for training. And at that point I was mixing medium into my oil paint, and I would mix it pretty well, and put that diluted paint inside these containers that are inbuilt, and there are some grooves for brushes as well. You can put some of the brushes, but these are not that useful. I used to keep it in my hand just the way I've shown it before. But four paints that are very useful. For first of all, you need to have a titanium white, and also a light yellow, which is like a cadmium lemon kind of a color, reddish color, and like an alizarin crimson, and French ultramarine. Now there is this, I have only one page of it. This is a paper palette. I don't use them quite often, but these can be used for regular use. You can just tear it off, and this is the only page that I have. But these are plastic coated papers, and they are very useful, especially when you're doing plein air, or maybe studies, or maybe live painting sessions. You can just put your colors here, and it's good for mixing. There is no hindrance of any kind. Even the cleanup is also quite easy when you need to clean it off, but the purpose is to tear this up and use another sheet of it, so the oil won't be soaked into this paper. So these are also very useful. You can see how easy it is to clean up. Let's move to glass palettes, and this is a glass palette, and the glass palettes are very useful. If you are painting almost daily, and also in a big scale, the glass palettes are easy to clean up, and also very sturdy as well. I placed it on a table, but it can be placed anywhere. And the biggest thing is that it's very easy to clean compared to wooden palettes, and it's just a shiny surface. I attached a cardboard and then pasted some tapes to keep it from falling, attached to dippers, and this is the only one that I use, and this is just linseed oil, nothing more. I don't use tubs or anything. Maybe I can look to use liquid in the near future, but this is the only thing that I use, and this is absolutely stuck because I don't use it. But this is very useful. You have your oil and surface, and all the paints are organized pretty much. So all of these paints are covered with this plastic food wrap to save the paint so that they do not dry. I have made a video on that, so watch out for that, how to keep your paints fresh. And all the colors have been organized in the following manner, and these are the colors that I use most often. I also have made a smaller glass palette. You can use a glass palette like this, a smaller one for smaller paintings, so that it doesn't take away much space. Again, it's very easy to clean. Haven't made any kind of paint arrangement here, but this is free to use any sort of combination. And as you can see, again I attached a dipper, and again I paint with mostly linseed oil, and this is a drying oil that I have. Another important factor to consider is the color of the palette surface, because the colors that you see on top of the palette, they must be similar on top of the canvas, so that there are no wrong decisions about the value as well as the nature of the color. Now I got this theory from this book, which is an introduction to oil painting by Ray Smith, and this book also mentions this theory. The artists use many different kinds of surfaces. For example, I have this surface which is the cardboard color, and also I have this one which is slightly darker than this one in value and also in the nature of the color, whereas this one had a reddish color like the teak wood, and now it has turned green because there was some paint that was there. It doesn't really matter to me now, but this is one thing you might want to consider to keep the or maintain the accuracy of the color that you're going to use. So these are more or less all the kinds of pellets that are available in the market. So one thing that is clear to you, I hope that some of these are best to be bought from the manufacturers, and some of these are best when you made them on your own because they would cost less. So the choice is yours, and good things when you buy them, they are absolutely good, but you need to understand for what purpose. So if you like this video, then please click the like button and also subscribe for future videos, and remember to click the bell icon so that you get notified when a new video has been uploaded. And I thank you for your time and take care.